Hey, hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and you've probably heard at this point that we've got a major winter storm headed our way to the Denver area starting tomorrow night and lasting all day Thursday. It doesn't end until Friday morning. So we're going to break down everything for you, and we have the pleasure here on 9 News Plus. One of the best things about 9 News Plus, for many different reasons, is that we have the time to get into the detail. I don't have somebody yelling in my ear telling me wrap, finish up, right? We have the time to go into the detail about all sorts of scenarios that could happen with this storm. But I do want to start things off by just saying that for most of the Denver area, this is going to be a high impact winter storm, probably our biggest snowstorm in Denver in 3 years, or at least for most of the metro area, our biggest snowstorm in about 3 years. And I think there's a pretty good chance that tomorrow night and Thursday morning, we're not going to see a ton of snow. This is going to be during the day on Thursday, probably from about mid-morning through kind of that 12-hour period from about 9 a.m. Thursday to about 9 p.m. on Thursday. That's when we could really pile up the snow, kind of like this, and that's when I think we're going to get the bulk of our snowfall out of the storm system. So Thursday morning, I think there's a pretty good chance that a lot of you are going to wake up and be like, what do you mean? We only got an inch or two of snow on the ground. These weather guys, they're wrong, or whatever you might say. Trust me, during the day on Thursday, we will make up for that. So let's start things off by taking a look outside right now. It's, by the way, kind of, I'm sure, hard to believe that we're talking about big snow, but of course this is a classic Denver area snow setup, with it being 60 degrees and sunny outside on this Tuesday. That is a classic setup for us to get a big snow. Is on the eve of it, you've got beautiful sunny skies and warm temperatures. And by the way, it's common. There's actually a reason. In fact, going back to this for a quick second, again, since we have the gift of time here, this is a question I get all the time: is there an actual reason why there's a warm before the storm? Yes. So what's basically happening, I'm going to actually go back on camera for this here, is when you talk about spring and the seasons, right? What's happening is there's a battle basically between cold and warm air. So that's what's going on. That's what's actually fueling these storms. The storm that we're about to get is fueled by the difference between a really warm air mass and a really cold air mass. So you've got that battle going on, and what weather is basically an equalizing process. So if it's really warm somewhere and it's really cold somewhere else, the equal process is somewhere in the middle. You're going to have a storm develop. Again, that's kind of the energy from that difference in temperature and in air pressure kind of evening on out. So that's why you got this warm air mass right now. That's what's actually leading essentially to this for this. And so a very, very significant snow event likely for us. So here's what we're looking at. Major storm tomorrow, Friday. Mixed Wednesday, rain to snow all day long on Thursday. And for today, we have those temperatures that are in the low 60s. Again, we're really not too worried about the weather for today. Highs in the 60s, 70s, Eastern Plains. This is what we're worried about. This is the real thing here, folks. We're talking about that winter storm watch. This is going to be upgraded to warning here in the next few minutes, I would imagine. In fact, I'll just say this too. The Weather Service is upgrading some of their snowfall amounts right now as we speak. Their forecast snowfall amounts to perhaps over a foot of snow for downtown Denver. This is a significant snow likely on its way for us here in the Denver area. Winter storm watch for right now, they have 6 to 12 inches for downtown Denver. That's the official winter storm watch. They're going to bump that up. We've been bumping up their numbers here at 9 News. Just the latest computer forecast model data continues to ratchet up those forecast snowfall totals. HE Doppler radar is quiet right now over Colorado. You look to our north and west, there's that rain, snow. This is the kind of energy. This is what we term a cutoff low. And you can probably, if you look closely at northern Nevada, if you see Elko, kind of middle left-hand side of your screen, you look to the north, kind of just above that a little bit. It's kind of a swirl there, and that's the cutoff low. That's the actual energy for this storm. It's an upper-level cutoff low, and what this does, the term cutoff means that it's not attached to the jet stream, which is the narrow string of really strong winds that kind of transports a lot of our weather. When it's cut off, think about a train being detached from a train track. It's just not going to move, right? That's the same idea with a cutoff low, and that's what's happening here, and that's what's going to lead to this prolonged snow event. This system is just going to kind of sit and spin and sit and spin for 36 hours. And that means a lot of snow for us here in the Denver area. Meantime, we'd have nothing to worry about tonight. Hey, you got a flight tonight, you got to drive somewhere tonight. You're A-OK for tonight into tomorrow morning across eastern Colorado. You got a flight tomorrow. I think we're really generally okay through the day tomorrow. So again, the good news is we've had a lot of lead time on this storm. And so if you need to get things done, and one thing we'll get into is, I would say, trim those trees in particular, because there's going to be the potential for a lot of snap trees in the foothills in particular, but maybe even down here in Denver. Today and tomorrow are generally okay days to get basically anything you need to get done. So snow starts late tonight in the mountains. Mountains, different situation. We actually get some rain and maybe some clouds of thunder down here into the Denver area. Again, think about that clash of air masses that I was talking about. That's what's going on. That's why we're going to see some of those claps of thunder overnight and early tomorrow morning across northeast Colorado. Then we clear things on out. Then tomorrow morning it's kind of cooler, but it's actually going to be mostly sunny tomorrow morning. I'm not too worried about the morning after maybe a little round of rain. We'll get some of that rain into the picture for tonight. Tomorrow, upper 40s, rain to snow for us. And then that winter storm, what to know? Rain tomorrow flips to snow tomorrow night. Now, I've been talking about this all day long. When that transition takes place, when exactly, let's say it flips from rain to snow at 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night, that would be a boom scenario. That's when we're talking about over a foot of snow. If it takes place not till, say, 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, that means we're going to use up a lot of our precipitation on rain. That means we're likely looking at a lower end snow event. Now, the current lean is towards a higher end snowfall event. This is very likely going to be a big storm for us in the Denver area. So we flip from rain to snow tomorrow night. And then through the day on Thursday, that's when we get the heaviest snowfall. So again, one of my concerns is that people on Thursday morning may not wake up to a lot of snow and go, what's going on here? Not a big deal. Those weather nerds got it wrong or whatever. Something like that, right? And then through the day on Thursday, just hammer snow all day. That's very likely that we're going to have heavy snow basically all day long on Thursday, and it doesn't wrap until probably Friday morning. So this is going to be a long-lived snow event for us. Here's a look at those estimated snowfall totals. Along and south of downtown, that's where I think we get 8 to 14 inches worth of snowfall. North and east of downtown, 6 to 12. Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, 3 to 6. You get kind of snow hold there in the Fort Collins area. Still, though, I mean, still a medium-sized storm for Fort Collins. So, don't want to discount 3 to 6 inches of snow. That's not nothing, but certainly not the kind of blockbuster storm that we're expecting down here into the metro. And then, speaking of a blockbuster, the foothills here, folks. And we're going to go city by city here a little bit as well, because I always like to look at this in terms of probabilities. I don't like to tell you you are going to get X amount of snow, or you're going to get 8 to 14 inches. I like to look at it from a more probabilistic standpoint, because frankly we're closer to, I don't know, sports lines than we are to again, it's forecasting the future, right? So here's one of the things that's very certain is that in the foothills, western Boulder, Clear Creek down through kind of western Jeffco above 6,000 feet, northeast Park County along 285, and kind of west of 25 in Dougco, that somewhere in there, somebody's going to come in with 30 inches of snow. I'm just telling you that is looking increasingly likely. And you know what here, folks? I might up that to 40 inches. Somebody's going to come in with some crazy, stupid snowfall total out of this. And we're talking about the potential for over 3 feet of snow above 6,000 feet. I should say probably above 7,000 feet. Above 7,000 feet, where it's going to be snowed the entire duration of the storm. We're going to have higher snow to liquid ratios. Somebody in there, in this white zone above 7,000 feet, comes in with probably 30 to 40 inches of accumulation. Now, that's not going to be everybody. Most of the area that I've got circled here comes in with, quote unquote, only 1 to 2 feet. But still, this is where we're talking about the big snowstorm. And if this hangs on long enough, we could see some of those like totals down here into the heart of the metro area. Hey, Denver, 6 to 14 inches, most likely. I'm going to say this again. I'm leaning on the high side here. I'm leaving that 6-inch chance in case we hold on to rain or a rain-snow mix to Thursday morning. If it's, you wake up Thursday morning, 6, 7 o'clock, and it's still rain or you still got ice, that's when we're looking at probably a 6 only, quote unquote, only 5, 6, 7 inch snowstorm. But that doesn't seem likely. In fact, it's looking less and less likely the more we wear on. There's a ton of water with the storm. So even if we are mixing most of the night Wednesday into Thursday. There's just so much water within this particular storm that we can make up for this in a jiff. And that's probably what's going to happen here, folks, is that we're going to be looking at a high impact snow event. And again, you see 6 to 14 inches on the ground on the screen. I actually had this at 8 to 14 earlier. I'm leaving that 6-inch just in case we do end up with some of that mixing, but my guess is we're going to end up with 10 or more inches of snow here in Denver. That seems pretty likely to me at this point. Better than 50-50 odds that we get more than 10 inches of snow in downtown Denver. Fort Collins, again, 60% chance, 3 to 6 inches. Still a bit of a boom chance if we can flip over quickly enough. Fort Collins, Greeley probably a little lower than this. I would probably tack off an inch on those numbers here to Greeley, but even Greeley, there's still a reasonable chance that you end up with a bit more of a snow. But I think in Fort Collins, Greeley, our friends in northern Colorado, this is going to be more of a low to medium-sized snow event, more minor to maybe moderate snow event. Boulder, similar to Denver, I will say maybe a slightly higher boom potential in Boulder. That is due to the fact that if the winds turn a bit more easterly. I'm getting into the nitty-gritty here. Bear with me for a quick second. But if the winds turn a bit more easterly, that's more of a wind direction for Boulder. This looks to be more due northeast, and that would favor a kind of evergreen conifer Bailey. But Boulder is still a chance that we end up with a good, I just wouldn't be surprised at all if Boulder gets 15, 16 inches out of this. Or Denver, honestly. I'm just going to say this, that in downtown Denver, in Boulder, somebody coming in with 15, 16 inches is just not going to surprise me at all. In fact, I'd say there's a pretty good chance somebody below 6,000 feet comes in with 16, 17, 18 inches worth of snowfall out of the storm. Just most likely, these are, again, most likely ranges. Castle Rock, 50% chance of about 12 to 18. Really, really good chance that we end up with that. And by the way, I just want to mention this little breaking news. Denver now upgraded to winter storm warning, which not surprising at all. 30% chance 19 to 26 inches, 20% chance 6 to 11 inches. Evergreen, 16 to 24 most likely. And this is where we're talking about that boom scenario with a huge, huge snowstorm on its way for the foothills. 7-day forecast, 30s, 40s the next few days. We're not really so worried about that. I will leave you with this. The boom bust scenario. The bust is because it mixes too long. The boom is because there's just a ton of water within this storm. We're talking about, and probably about 1.5 inches worth of snow to liquid ratio. That is a ton of water for a storm like this. So, yeah, here, folks, this is going to be a big storm. There's no doubt about that. And again, Denver now under a winter storm warning. That is just into us here at 9 News. And we'll keep you posted with the latest on this, but this is going to be a big, big snow event, and it's going to be through the day on Thursday. I think, this is probably going to end up being our biggest snowstorm since the Pi Day snowstorm 3 years ago, Pi Day 2021, when we had 27 inches of snow in downtown Denver. Don't think we quite get that, but I wouldn't entirely rule it out, but I don't think we end up with 27 inches of snow. I do think that 15 and 20 inches is very realistic for us in Denver, but most likely a little bit less than that. So we'll keep you posted with the latest on it. And we'll have the latest for you throughout the storm here on 9 News Plus as well. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for tolerating all that meteorological mumbo jumbo. This is kind of my wheelhouse here, but hopefully it helps you out as well. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.